Hi, this is Hartaj from Ncaacademy. I'd like to discuss a very interesting article which I was reading was India's gateway to Central Asia. What is this article all about? It's about the Chabahar port, and a lot of you would have a lot of questions related to Chabahar port in terms of our current affairs also. It's really important. So let's discuss it. Now, if I go with a brief history, prior to partition, we didn't really have any significance of Chabahar port because we had Pakistan as a part of India. So at any point of time, we had to go to Afghanistan, Turkmenistan. We had this special route through which we could go. With the partition, what happened is Pakistan is on the top, you have China on the other side, so India becomes landlocked in terms of going to having a road transport towards Central Asia, which it did not have. So that is where Chabahar port became really significant. Now, what we're going to discuss is related to the Chabahar port itself, how it got its existence and what was the history. We talked till 1970s, what was the main problem that was happening. Until 1970s, we saw that the Shah government that we talk about, it was very close to US. So Iran and India did not have good relationships, and India was following a policy of NAM. That is the non-aligned movement. So India was not towards one side or one bloc. There was two blocks at this time when we talk about the Cold War era. You had the red bloc and the blue bloc. Blue bloc signifies US, red bloc signifies the communist regime, which was Russia. So as soon as 1970s happened and you had the Islamic revolution in Iran, you had the Mullah government coming over, and you had the change in significance towards India. A very good example of it I like to quote is in 1993, the then Prime Minister Narasimha Rao visited Iran, and Iran was instrumental in stopping Pakistan from putting a resolution through the Organization of Islamic Cooperation against India in the Human Rights Commission. So that's how the relationships now started booming. Now, let's talk about Chabahar port. It actually started with the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee visiting in 2001 Tehran, which is the capital of Iran, and in 2003 President Khatami visiting for the Republic Day parade. For the first time, the Chabahar port was actually talked about. So what was the Chabahar port? We basically wanted to have a railway link which was to connect Chabahar to BAM, that is Iran, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan. That is what we wanted to connect. The second thing that they proposed was a north-south corridor where Iran would be connected to Russia as well, and it would provide India this gateway where India doesn't have to go through the land route over Pakistan but directly a sea route towards Iran, and then it could connect to all these partners. Now the Chabahar port, with this geological significance, it actually lies between Gulf of Oman and Strait of Hormuz, so it automatically is very significant in terms of the geopolitical significance, and we talk about the geography of it. Let's see the present changes that had happened. In 2018, in US, when we talk about it, President Trump had come to power and he decided to take away JCPOA. Now what is JCPOA? Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which was approved with Iran and also US, where US would be a watchguard to look into the Iranian facilities for nuclear, so that Iran does not produce any nuclear facilities. So this was taken away, and there came sanctions in terms of the US. India on its part, in a very diplomatic way, was able to resist all the attempts related to Chabahar, but yes, we decided to reduce our oil imports to absolute zero with Iran. Slowly, the situation now at the present day time, there is again a lot of pressure from the world on Iran with the present Israel situation, Iran situation that is happening in Israel. Iran had a slight bit skirmish with Israel. So now US is again activated, and with the presidential elections coming up, there's a lot of talk related to Iran. So what happened now? India on its part is pushing forward further the Chabahar port. And a lot of Indian companies signed treaties with Iran to provide for a better expansion of the channel. Now, what is the latest agreement that we talk about, and what are the pressure points for it? Well, the latest agreement is expansion of the port itself, and to provide $120 million by India to expand the port. And there's a further credit line of $250 million which India has decided to put forward. What it means is expansion to 32 jetties. It means 82 million tons of cargo can come to the Chabahar port. Now, the problem that we are talking about is with the regime change in US, there's a possibility there'll be a lot of, sanctions related to Iran. So there is this problem that we are facing, that the private companies of India which have applied for it and which we have talked about expansion of this port might face a little bit of economic sanctions from US. But that is something that we'll see in the future. But why is Chabahar important to us? Because it is our gateway to Central Asia, where we can bypass China and Pakistan, and we don't need the land route from there, where we can directly connect it to the case of Russia also. In the present day time, when we talk about the Russian oil is coming all the way across, and the cost of it, transportation is a big cost. But if we have a direct line with Russia, automatically with the Chabahar port, this cost will be reduced. So that is the basic significance of the Chabahar port. So now if we talk in terms of the questions, what are the questions? Is first of all, geopolitically, where is it situated? Secondly, what are the economic consequences of this Chabahar port? And what could be the outcome in the future? So when you read an article, you should read it in this sense. I hope I've been able to clear your doubts, and I hope you find this video informative.